2, 3, flex. Don't kill our vibe, or we will lead to a lie. Don't test. 1, 2, 3, flex 5 to the test. Ladies, we're on top. Hey, we're on top.
I know that you really feel these vibes. I know that you wanna live this life. I know that you wanna come this side. Whatever you want, baby girl, yeah, you decide. Decide, baby, you decide. Whatever you want, baby girl, yeah, you decide. I know that you really feel these vibes. I know that you wanna live this life. I know that you wanna come this side. Whatever you want, baby girl, yeah, you decide. Really outside, I'll be really outside. Really outside, I'll be really outside. I'll be with the crew, I'll be making moves, I'll be chilling with the tribe. So whatever you want, baby girl, you can live this life. I know that you really feel these vibes. I know that you wanna live this life. I know that you wanna come this side. Whatever you want, baby girl, yeah, you decide. Decide, yeah, you decide. Whatever you want, baby girl, yeah, you decide. I know that you really feel these vibes. I know that you wanna live this life. I know that you wanna come this side. Whatever you want, baby girl, yeah, you decide. My nigga just hit me with a wave, I just hit him back like say less. You know that I'm trying to get it right, I'ma pull up after my sesh. You already know every day, I be living good vibes, no stress. When I think about everything I've been through, I know that I'm blessed. Getting back to the crib, it's like 8 a.m. I swear last night was so amazing. Can't wait to do it all over again. Loving this life that I'm living. I know that you really feel these vibes. I know that you wanna live this life. I know that you wanna come this side. Whatever you want, baby girl, yeah, you decide. Decide, baby, you decide. Whatever you want, baby girl, yeah, you decide. I know that you really feel these vibes. I know that you wanna live this life. I know that you wanna come this side. Whatever you want, baby girl, yeah, you decide. Really outside, I'll be really outside. Really outside, I'll be really outside. Really outside, I'll be really outside. Really outside, I'll be really outside.
Please have a seat. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Mwnkii blessing us with all of that. So tell us, first of all, before we get into it, please introduce yourself and just tell us about yourself.
What's going on? So my name's Mwnkii. I'm an artist, born and raised in the U.S. Been living out here for the past year. I do come from Kenyan descent, but this is my first time really being out here, really immersing myself in the culture and everything, getting to know what it's like really living life out here. So that song I just performed is called This Side, which is pretty much just me talking about what that experience has been like.
And in the past year, what has been your favorite thing about just being in Kenya and just, immersing yourself, as you said?
I think, one thing I really enjoy is just how much I kind of blend in. I think, growing up in the U.S., there's a lot of stigma around being, black in America and whatnot.
Yeah.
And there's a lot that comes with that, But out here, this is the first time I've really felt like I'm just another person, just a regular guy,
Yeah.
And
Not on guard all the time.
yeah, exactly. And, and you can kind of just see when you meet so many different people out here, how different the culture is, in terms of the day-to-day interactions. A lot of people are, a lot less standoffish. People are very kind, very easygoing, laid back,
Yeah.
very just positive and upbeat.
Yeah.
So I really enjoy that aspect of it.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's very interesting that you say that because a lot more people who come in, like African American or black people who come into Kenya, they tend to stay quite a bit actually.
Yeah.
So much so that there's been like this ongoing beef on social media, specifically on TikTok, with a few of the newer African Americans who've come into the country and they're like, oh yeah, life is cheap here, women love me, I am the embodiment of like being a man and I am macho. And it's a very strange culture that's now starting up with like people coming in and feeling like they are the epitome of man, and so we should, there's that thing going on. So like, what do you feel when you see like other people who are not natively from here acting that way, acting very entitled when they come to your country? Do you feel someone needs to catch some hands? Like, what's the situation?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely is pretty interesting to
Yeah.
see. It's kind of funny. I remember I was watching this one show, White Lotus,
Mm-hmm.
and like they did this last season was in like Thailand or something.
Mm-hmm.
In one of the episodes, they talk about like people who are there at the resort,
Mm-hmm.
and they call them like losers back home or something like that. You know, and it's like it is interesting because it's like, all right, these people, they may have a very different life in the U.S. They come here and they do experience a lot of great things that they may not normally experience over there. I think that if it works for you, if it fits, cool, do your thing. But at the same time, just have that respect for the culture. Have that respect for the people who are here. Who are helping provide you with this lifestyle that you've been seeking. Because at the end of the day, it's a trade-off. There's something that you can gain from them. There's something that they can gain from you. Yeah.
I like that perspective.
So you've performed for us. How exactly would you describe your style of music or the kind of music that you write and you're inspired to put out?
Yeah, I would say so. A lot of my music definitely is inspired just like by like my real life experiences when it comes to things that I go through, people that I meet, encounters that I have. So in a way, my music is kind of like a sonic journal. Just that's where I really get to really just like express my emotions, what I'm feeling on different things. Reflect on things that I've done or I've been through. And ultimately, I'd say the sound is definitely pretty melodic, somewhat laid back, but still upbeat and something that you can really enjoy yourself to.
Awesome.
And I feel like a lot of people tend to get influences from different people, and you have like a merge of sort of very melodic versus kind of hip hop beats. So who are your influences? Who are the people that you grew up listening to, and then you're like, I want to be just like them. I want to mold myself just like them. What's your info?
So I used to listen to like a really wide range of music growing up. My parents were like pretty strict, so like they didn't really like me listening to like a lot of like hip hop. So, but I used to try to listen to like Hot 97 and stuff, like Power 105.1. But I also used to listen to like a lot of like Z100, like pop stuff. So I was really into like back then, like 50 Cent was huge. Ludacris, Them Franchise Boys. I used to listen to like a lot of Sean Paul. Black Eyed Peas was really dope to me. And then I used to come here a lot when I was growing up. So I used to actually had a lot of like Kenyan influence too. I remember listening to like the Ogopa DJs, like mixtapes and things like that. Give the Ride, Mwnkii, songs like that. I would like make sure that we would burn CDs with those, and I'd bring them back to the U.S. and I'd listen to them back in the States and everything. So yeah, so my music is really just a big culmination of all of that stuff put together. Yeah.
First of all, shout out to your parents who are in the studio. I mean, parents who support their children's music and whatever the careers they choose. Shout out to them for being here. We appreciate you, Mom and Dad, for being here. And as we continue on, you had another question?
Yes, still about the parents. I know they're very supportive, they're over here, but let's put them in the spotlight for a hot minute. You did mention that they were
Very
pretty
strict.
Yeah.
when you were growing up. So was this the career or the path that you had decided from very early on, I'm going to do music, I'm going to be a creative? Or was there an African set of careers that have been
A list.
pre-chosen for you? You're either an engineer or
or a doctor.
If you do a bit,
If you fail and you can talk,
you
you're
can
a
be
lawyer.
So was there a push towards academics as opposed to creativity, or what's the story there?
Yeah, so when I was like growing up and stuff, at one point I actually wanted to study like psychology. And psychology was cool, but it's interesting. When I was in high school, I was actually part of like a literary magazine, and I was really good at writing. I was always really good at writing, even like when I was young. So I used to write like poetry, short stories, and stuff like that. But like back then, I went to an all boys high school, so like it just didn't really seem cool, and I definitely wasn't like as secure in that like talent that I had. But like teachers would tell me like, yo, you're really a good writer, you need to pursue this for real. And I used to be like, all right, cool, whatever. But at some point when I was like in college and I was like going through, just trying to really figure out what I really wanted to do with my life. Psychology was cool, it was definitely interesting. I took a few courses and stuff, but it wasn't really like, I didn't feel like it was my calling. But I always did love music, and I always did love writing. So eventually, I started getting into actually making music, especially when some of my friends started getting into it too. We all kind of got into it together. So from there, that's where I kind of realized this is something that I actually can do for real. And I pretty much taught myself a lot of it. But I found a passion for it, and I just pursued it. And my parents weren't really super into it, at first. But they saw that it wasn't something I was gonna quit. I wasn't gonna give up doing it. So at some point, they just were like, okay, well, if you're gonna do it, then go ahead and do it. Just make sure you're doing it for real.
Okay.
Awesome.
And shout out to them, by the way. That is the most left field story we've ever had. Because honestly, the parents will be like, stick to this. We are paying for your school and you are going to start singing it. It's really funny how your parents just took it up. Shout out to them. Good job, folks. You guys are doing well. We love it for you. But let's talk about your fashion. Because I see a blend of so many people. I see a blend of Burna Boy in there. There's Quavo in there. There's a little bit of Khalid, like the R&B artist Khalid. You know him?
Yeah.
There's a blend of so many people. So what is your inspiration? When you wake up in the morning and you look at your closet, would you go who am I going to be today? Who is that for you?
Honestly, for me, it's just, I feel like I really just wear whatever, I kind of it doesn't really matter. Obviously there are things I think look good and don't look good, but ultimately, I just try to wear whatever I'm comfortable in. Cause
you have no signature. There's nothing you say, this is me, this is me. I think 2 weeks ago you had someone who completely switched her hair to red hair. She said red hair forever, for every song, for every, it's everything is just red hair. Her eyebrows were red, everything was red, and it looked really, really cool.
Word.
So is there something that you're thinking about putting into your signature look?
Honestly, not really, because for me, I feel like, as long as I just look clean and presentable, that's the main thing about it,
Right.
I definitely do like, styling my hair, making sure it looks good, keeping clean and whatnot, trying to stay healthy, stay fit, in shape. But yeah, apart from that, definitely, keep things cool, color-wise, and just make sure it coordinates decently, doesn't always have to match or whatever. But end of the day, it's not really about the clothes, just about the person in them.
All right,
So-
clean cut. We love it.
Yeah.
Please take us through the process of you deciding to stick by Mwnkii as your performance name and your stage name, as opposed to, there are options like Lil M, and given that you're doing hip hop, you also have an American influence and a Kenyan influence. How did you end up with just saying, you know what, I'll just take out a few letters out of Mwnkii and this is me right now?
Yeah, so I feel like for me, it's mainly because when it comes to the music, it's me, you know what I mean? It's not like I'm putting on a persona, I'm the music comes from my actual life and my actual experiences and stuff. So it's not like it's a switch, like whoever I am as an artist is who I am as a person. So I just wanted to make sure that remained consistent, and also making sure that what was I going to say? Just as far as like making sure my identity is also there. Even though I was born and raised in the U.S., I definitely do have strong roots here in Kenya. So I think that for me, it was very important to make sure that that was something that didn't get compromised throughout this pursuit.
Okay. And how has the reception to the music been, both in America and here in Kenya? How have people received your music?
Have you done live music, and how was that experience as well?
Yeah. It's been, honestly, it's been pretty dope. So before I came out here, I did get to do like a few shows out in New York City and stuff. And it was pretty crazy. I remember like the first show I did, I had put out this one song, my debut single, The Ride. And I had a pretty solid turnout, like a good amount of people came out. And one thing I just didn't expect was when I was singing the song, and I got to the hook, like the crowd started singing it along with me, and I was like, oh wow, like I actually was kind of taken aback because like I didn't realize, people are really listening, and they like are actually really supporting this journey and everything. So that definitely was a lot of like really, really good positive reinforcement. But yeah, apart from that, yes, it's been great. Even out here, I've been able to make a good amount of music out here, connect with different people who have heard the songs and they're like, oh wow, this is pretty dope.
Yeah.
Like just last night, I was actually out at a studio session with Polycop from Sauti Soul, and then Bien was in there too, and they were just laying stuff down, and getting invited to like sessions like that and stuff off the strength of like the music that I have. That's also just like forms of positive reinforcement, showing me that I'm doing this the right way.
True. True. Yeah, awesome.
Speaking about achievements, there also comes the challenges in the music industry and the challenges in just life as an artist, right? So what are some of the things that you would probably mention as like the biggest challenges that you've been through as an artist, recording, producing, all of that? What's your journey been like?
I definitely think, there are definitely a lot of challenges that come with it. I would say, for one, figuring out, your role, your skill set in it. You can't always, it's hard to make music just by yourself, Like, if you could be the person who's writing the songs, whatever, but you still need someone who's a producer, still need someone who's a solid mixing and mastering engineer. You need people who know how to place the music, what to do with it, who to push it out to, how to market it and everything. Because in today's industry, you can't just survive off of good music alone. You really have to treat every song as a product and treat yourself as a product and a brand. So just knowing how to really navigate all of that is definitely something that I wasn't necessarily cognizant of at the beginning, but I've been learning over time. And just making sure that you just try to stay as genuine as possible. Figure out what your identity is, figure out what your sound is, what you're into, because you can easily get swept up in going either way. You know what I mean? Depending on who you're associating yourself with, what you're aligning yourself with value-wise and things like that. So just making sure you're truly staying true to yourself, I think, is the most important thing.
When we asked you about your influences, your inspiration, you kept it vague. You said the people in my life. So the question is, who's in your life? Is there a special muse out there? The parents.
Sorry folks, but is there somebody calling you daddy?
I mean, right now, I'm pretty single. I'm not really talking to anybody right now. I'm just kind of living, enjoying life.
Yeah.
I think, just meeting new people here and there is really.
And how's being single in Kenya?
Oh, especially considering you're from the States. Yeah, how are you experiencing that?
How's that going?
I mean, it's been interesting, to say the least. Yeah, I mean, you go out different places and you just come in contact with a lot of different people. But yeah, I definitely do just try to stay focused.
Yeah, it's a very diplomatic answer. We're looking for some tea, but we love it. We understand. But we like
serving
it.
tea.
There's
no,
no
I mean,
tea.
like, obviously, I go out, I have fun, I do my thing, but like I'm not going crazy. I try to stay focused.
Okay. Same. Did you get that? It was the same answer both times, just arranged differently. Okay, guys, that's what happens when you have good moral backgrounds. Okay, and speaking of good morality, there is a huge plague when it comes to artists and going through different mental health spaces, right? Because like
Yeah.
as you said, there are many challenges in the music industry. Sometimes you're meeting the wrong people, sometimes you're meeting the wrong group of people to work with, right?
Yeah.
Or sometimes you just end up like getting some weird deal and somehow it just falls through. Life happens. As an
Yeah.
artist, life does happen. You lose money, sometimes you make money and whatever.
Yes.
So what is it that keeps you like solid and grounded? It's so easy to get into like bouts of many mental health crises.
Yeah.
So how do you deal with that? How do you manage that in your own life?
Honestly, that definitely was something that I did have to figure out how to manage. You know, especially when you kind of have people who kind of just sell you like false dreams and whatnot, and you kind of have things going in a certain direction, things are looking up, but then it's like all of a sudden it can fall apart like that. You know, so figuring all that out, I think the biggest thing for me has been understanding and realizing the power that I have in myself with, the music I make and everything. And then through that, understanding like I can take this as far as I want to if I just truly put it in my own hands. That's what's most important. In this industry, you can't depend on someone else to make, your dreams come true or whatever. You have to make them come true yourself.
Yeah.
This thing will only be as big or as successful or as good as you make it, you know.
So we won't be hearing any Illuminati rumors in a few years.
No.
How will we know you've made it? You
How
know?
will we know?
How will
If
we
you're
know?
not being rumored to be part of jokes.
Who knows? Who knows? There will be signs.
Yeah, no, the signs over there.
Okay.
And you seem like a pretty chill dude.
Yeah.
But this days being a musician and being an artist and being a creative means you have to be very out there.
Yeah.
And we've seen very introverted musical artists who've had to now start creating TikTok challenges, TikTok choreography.
Yeah.
Do you feel that pressure of creating TikTok music as opposed to you just staying authentic and producing just what is you, as opposed to what would, be a dance challenge on TikTok?
Yeah, honestly, I feel like navigating the content aspect is definitely interesting, especially because the industry has become so dependent on it. Like I remember when TikTok started getting banned and whatnot in the U.S., there was like so much commotion about like how is the music industry going to move forward and stuff like that. Me personally, I feel like good music will get there. But you definitely do have to play the game to an extent.
Yeah.
But you can figure out ways to tailor it to yourself. Figure out ways to keep your authenticity in it. Because if you're like a classical artist or like a soul artist or something, you're not really going to be out here trying to make a dance challenge. But there are different ways where you can, still market yourself and get people to buy into your music. By just
Storytelling.
storytelling, showing your personality, things like that. Just figuring out those things, I think that, there definitely is like a huge stigma in terms of what people think content has to be, but there's a lot of different ways that you can make content that will break through and reach, the consumers that you're looking to reach.
Your target audience.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome.
I have just one final question. What is the advice that you're giving anyone who's coming up or anyone who's making the transition? Because you said you're still around here for a bit.
Yeah.
And you've been here for like a year. So what is it that you've learned here for anyone who's trying to come back home and do music, or anyone who's trying to leave and go and do music outside? What is the one advice you give them?
I think for one, definitely, make sure that you are set on doing this for real, because it's not an easy road. It's not, it's never going to go the way you expect it to go. So be prepared for roadblocks. Make sure you know how you're gonna, navigate certain things that come up unexpectedly. Make sure you understand yourself, understand what you can do musically and like what works well to you, because really that's what it's all about. Just use that and exploit that and you'll be good. And make sure you just find people that you can really rock with, people who you can really talk to and build with, because those connections really, really do mean a lot.
And you've talked about how, you've had a chance to, be in studio with Polycarp and BN, but who in Kenya do you look forward to having a collaboration with, like a dream collaboration that you'd like to make happen in Kenya?
Out here? Well, I mean, those guys definitely would be great guys to work with. I've been talking to Shopper Man. He's a pretty dope dude. Yeah, he's like actually like the first artist that I met out here. Like I was down at the coast one weekend and then like randomly like ran into him, and he's honestly a really dope dude. Definitely he's one of those guys that really paved the way when you look at the earlier days of the industry out here and stuff. He was able to really kind of break through internationally with, kind of Mula and everything. And he's been able to, just do his thing now. He's chilling. And, but he's still, I definitely think that he's someone I would be able to work well with. We could definitely come up with some fire. Who else? I've been listening to a lot of Nikita Karing's music. She's pretty dope.
Yeah, she's really good.
Yeah, she's really, really fire as well. I think working with her would be pretty cool. Yeah.
You should find like people like Groovy Joe. She also has really nice flow. There's so many artists who dabble quite a bit in that area.
Groovy Joe coming out today, actually. So be on the lookout for
check
that.
out for that.
How about internationally? What's your dream collaboration?
Internationally?
Say it out loud. Manifest it. It's gonna happen.
In the universe.
Honestly, if I could, I'd want to get like a really like unexpected collab, like someone like maybe like a well, for one, definitely Kid Cudi would be dope. I think working with like someone like Florence Welch would be pretty fire. She has a really incredible voice. I used to listen to like a lot of her music back then. Theophilus London would be cool. Yeah.
Question that we all want to ask because of that question is Kendrick versus Drake.
Yeah.
Who's winning? You need to pick a side. You need to pick a side.
I mean, I think as far as like the rap battle goes, I think Kendrick definitely did his thing. Obviously.
As far as a collaboration, a dream collaboration goes.
Oh, as far as like a dream collaboration? I mean,
be wise.
You gotta think.
I mean, either
Because there's marketing on one side, and then there's rap and learning on
the
one
people
side.
are watching.
I mean,
pick a side.
If with either one of those guys.
You can't say either. It has to be one.
I'm saying though, like if I did a collab with either one of them, obviously that's going to be life changing. I'd probably say at this point, I'd probably go for a Kendrick collab.
Thank you.
Good
choice. you good choice. So where should people find your music and your socials? That's your camera.
Yeah. You can find me on all platforms: YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, whatever. Under my artist name Mwnkii. That's MWNKII.
Okay.
Awesome. So as we are leaving, are you going to bless us with another performance, or are you done for the day?
I could do one more.
All right.
He could do one more.
Girl, I've been looking for you, looking my whole life. Looking for someone that could come be my sunshine. Girl, I've been looking for you, looking my whole life. Looking for someone like you, looking for some time. Girl, I've been looking for you, looking my whole life. Looking for someone that can come be my sunshine. My sunshine, come be my sunshine. My sunshine, can be my sunshine. Girl, I've been looking for you, looking my whole life. Looking for someone that can come be my sunshine. On rainy days, I'll wash the pain away. When skies are gray, I pray for brighter days. Until the day, I'll wait until the day we fly away, away to a better place. Girl, I've been looking for you, looking my whole life. Looking for someone like you, looking for some time. Girl, I've been looking for you, looking my whole life. Looking for someone that can come be my sunshine. My sunshine, come be my sunshine. My sunshine, baby, my sunshine. Girl, I've been looking for you, looking my whole life. Looking for someone that can come be my sunshine. My sunshine, come be my sunshine. My sunshine, baby, my sunshine. Millions of people living on this earth, but you know that it's just me and you in this world. Millions of people living on this earth, but some way, but somehow I found you, girl. Girl, I've been looking for you, looking my whole life. Looking for someone like you, looking for some time. Girl, I've been looking for you, looking my whole life. Looking for someone that can come be my sunshine. My sunshine, come be my sunshine. My sunshine, baby, my sunshine. Girl, I've been looking for you, looking my whole life. Looking for someone that can come be my sunshine. My sunshine, come be my sunshine. My sunshine, come be my sunshine.